Hello, everybody.
Let's talk marriage. How are you doing?
So we're back. We are back. And if you hear any snoring, it is our pit bull in the back, laying down, full and ready to go. So he is sleeping real good. So we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. We did not show up last week because I was out of full commission. I was toe up. My voice was gone. There was no voice, and I we couldn't come on. I couldn't.
Well, and I had to be the nurse, doctor, everything above. Things
Mm.
that, men supposed to do or the wife supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, he really did take care of me. I'm still drinking some tea, and you guys can still kind of hear the raspiness in my voice. But I am fully recovered. I did not have COVID, but what I believe that I had was just a really horrible cold, and I could breathe. Everything was fine. I could taste. I could smell. I could do all of those things, but it was just really bad. My body was just out of commission. My voice, like I said, was gone, and it was just one thing after another. And but he was able to put on a little video, and that was nice.
Yeah,
That was really nice.
yeah.
We have been hit with almost tragedy after tragedy, and it's been really difficult for us,
Yeah.
just to even come on. So our private lives, things are happening. Although we're on this show, things are happening in the background with our families and things like that, and it's really it can be difficult sometimes. So I'm going to say this to you guys, and you can share your part as well, just to make sure that you're showing up for each other.
Yeah, I think it's important to communicate with each other. That's our topic for today is communicating, communication. Because, if we don't talk to each other, let each other know how we feel or doing,
Yeah.
how can we say you didn't know?
Right. Like with family, there have been a lot of suicides,
Yeah.
that have been happening here lately. Suicides, and there are a lot of people that I know personally and dear to me, that have gone through, overdosing,
Hmm.
on substance abuse, and just all sorts of things. Like, it's a wonder that, like, we're able to still keep going and just try to bring you some form of content. Um, and our topic today is about, like he said, communication and how to communicate with people. Last week or the week before that, we were talking about narcissistic behavior,
Right.
and what it actually looks like in people. And today we're just going to talk a little bit about communication and what that looks like. But before I do that, do you guys like our shirts? Our shirt says, it says, "Let's talk marriage." Let me tell you, the young lady who did them, her name is Latoya DeJustice, and I can put her link down below a little later. But she made these shirts for us. So she made the first one that she made for him. I gave her the wrong size. She was like, "Are you sure he's a large?" I'm like, "Yeah, he'll be able to fit a large."
It was like a tomb top.
He said it was a tube top. We put the shirt on. It was so tight.
You saw my heart beating for real.
I said, "Take it off. Take that shirt off. Take that shirt off. It don't work for you." Oh my gosh. So I hope you guys like our shirts. Her name is Latoya DeJustice, and she's the one who actually makes, like, our candles and things like that. She also, the gifts that I have been giving away. She has been gifting us those particular things. She's really, really cool. My room smells like, oh my gosh, like lollipops and strawberries. She makes these beautiful candles. So Latoya DeJustice, she's the one who made these shirts for us. And she remade his shirt to fit. So he's
My
not in
size.
here. It's his size. It's an extra, extra large. So you don't see his heartbeat in his shirt. So, but make sure that you guys like, comment, and share, because I want to just go straight in. Do you want me to start, or you want to start?
Well, when you think about communication, because come to mind is we communicate in many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Where we speak, where we our body movement,
Oh, you listen to me. Yes, body language. Go
um,
ahead.
the way we even the way we look, you know, our where our voice fluctuate.
Right.
And people say, well, the sign was not there, or this was not there, or you didn't tell me this. The fact of the matter is, you was not looking for communication. You were looking just to, how you said, to respond, and or you were just worrying about yourself sometimes, and that's something that we have to look on within ourselves, a selfishness.
Correct. Also, I didn't know. I'm gonna get on that, but I didn't know that you had my painting up in the back.
Oh yeah, see,
What
look,
is this
look,
foolishness?
look.
Don't do that.
Oh
You
no,
put
leave
this
it.
up.
It's perfect.
You like
It's perfect. It says if the shoe fit.
I did that. I went on a little outing with a friend. It was her vow renewal, and a bunch of ladies got together, and we did painting with a twist. And I drew this, and isn't that cute? It is cute. Move your head, move. Isn't that cute? So the other times we have something else. Maybe we should put like different things in the bag.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be cute. So every week we'll put something different because I'm always painting something. That's like my happy place. You guys will see on my personal page, I paint with the kids and I paint little different things with my nieces and nephews. I like to paint. It really brings me joy and pleasure to paint. So thank you for putting that up. That's cute. Is the dog dying?
No, he's snoring hard.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Anywho, so communication, you're right. So body language um, is the number one key. So, ooh, you know what? Can you give me my purse?
what's
I
that?
have some notes in my purse. It's right there on the other chair. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Be back.
So I have some notes in my big old purse, my big old bag. So this is us being extremely transparent. I always take notes and I'm always, putting things together because not only do I do therapy this way, but I also teach it to people so that they can know. And everything that I teach, I I do it myself as well. So it's not something that I haven't done already myself. So, because sometimes we can just there are people that can tell people things, but they don't do it themselves. They don't practice it themselves. They don't practice body language and being able to speak to people or communicate the right way. So I take these notes sometimes just to remind myself and to remind my clients as well of how we're communicating. So until I find it, one thing is body language. There is a thing that we do in therapy, and it is there's a therapist he coined it, but it's called the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. You guys should actually look that up. And I can't remember his name, but there are different things that can make or break a marriage. And one of the things is finances.
Yeah.
If you're not communicating about the finances, what else? What else do you think? So you got finances, you have infidelity,
Yeah.
and so finances, infidelity, and there's one other thing:
Finance infidelity, and you have also
communication.
Yes.
So communication and communicating the proper way. Well, yeah, that's three. So if we don't do these things the right way, you can just pretty much just break up a whole marriage. Now, everything that we say, I'm not saying that it is going to work for everybody. This is what has worked for us. I train people in this way as well. And it is also studies and proven fact of some of these things that that will work. And if you don't work it, you'll mess yourself up. So you guys can put your comments, like, and share. Also, because we're streaming from Facebook and we're also streaming from YouTube. So make sure that you like and share. Go ahead.
Well, one thing I could really, when I think about communication is, when you look at a marriage, without the communication, it will break down everything to infidelity, finance, even down to the love. We so big on, oh, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that, but are we really communicating to each other on what we need? I'm actually, I'm communicating to you my needs to you, or what I want from you. Am I really, hitting base? But we too busy worrying about, oh, you don't, but we're not communicating that at all.
Right.
I know I got that part myself sometimes. I'm thinking that you read my body language, but sometimes you want me to communicate verbally to you.
This is absolutely true. You do that. Oh my God, I can't stand it.
And that's my big downfall. Yes. But at the same time, she could also read my body language. No. Because sometimes I read her body language before she open her mouth. I already know she's gonna say how she feel, and she like, well, and she's okay, yeah, I'll go lay in the bed. Just come on.
It's not always true. Sometimes I think because I've learned how to, especially when we first got together, we would argue so much. It was annoying. And when I did my therapy for myself, going to therapy helped me to understand you a little bit more and kind of pull back a little bit. So where I see that I can start an argument, because women, we can do that. We can just argue about because the fan is on and you're too cold and he didn't know to put the covers on you. Or, maybe our cycle is coming, early and we're just upset because we're feeling, just really, really upset and we don't know how to articulate those things. So I've learned over the years to kind of just back up a little bit. And I've done a lot of work on myself to where if I am extremely angry, if I'm not saying things the right way, what I usually do is I ask you now, especially give me a minute, or I'll start to process and think about it first, because if I don't, I used to, I wanted to fight, I wanted to hit the wall, I wanted to run myself into the wall, I'm cursing, I'm screaming, I'm doing all sorts of things. But I learned how to say, this is what's really wrong, this is why I'm upset. And 9 times out of 10, it's not that I even want him to fix anything, I just want him to be there.
Yeah.
And so you've learned how to do that. But as far as your body language, I just know when he's tired, when he's really tired, and when he's just had enough and he's just tired of going. And I'm just like, hey, kids, or even with myself, hey, we're going to leave and we're going to let daddy get some rest and things like that. But there are other things that you want me to know that I'm just like, I don't know that. You got to tell me.
Yeah, I'm learning that to learn how to be more verbal with my words.
Right.
I think men have that big issue. A lot of men I speak to and have a conversation with, they have that same issue till they forget to verbalize how they truly feel and expect our wife to read our minds, and that's our downfall. So I think we need to wake up on that aspect.
I'm going to agree, but I want to share something with you all. So I found my notes. I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see this? That's a lot of notes, right? So the name of the doctor, his name is John Gottman. So John Gottman coined the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Now there's a whole like what is it? Mythology or whatever, Greek mythology or something like that in with the 4 horsemen. But this particular one here is geared towards marriage and is geared towards helping people to come together and show these people how to communicate effectively and the right way. So how to fight fair. So one of the things that you were talking about when you were saying, not saying what you really, really feel, and you're pointing fingers and things like that, that's called criticism.
Yeah.
So criticism is saying or generalizing everything, saying things like you never, or saying you don't care, or saying you always, or women criticism looks like this. But men criticize as well.
Yes, we do.
And the way that men criticize is by having pinned up and unresolved anger because they don't know how to communicate to their wives. So what they do is some men I haven't seen him do that, but I call it it's his tick for tat that he does with me. That I see that he's annoyed and he'll start doing little tick for tat things, and I'm just like, why are you doing that? But it's because I've annoyed him to the point where he has pent up anger and doesn't know how to communicate with me, especially when he's saying that, you know, I'm real savvy and quick with my words and I'm quick on my feet. And he doesn't process that way. Sorry. He doesn't process that way. But I'm quick to just coming back with my responses. And he's slow to make sure that he's processing everything correctly before he starts to speak. And I like that about you because it you're really calm when it comes to a lot of things, and that's why I think we're still together. Because if it was, if it had anything to do with me, we would have been,
If
we
both
would
of
have been
you,
gone.
both of us hot headed,
Yeah.
yeah, we would have. You know, the thing is for me, I try to be careful with my words because I didn't want to say anything that would regret later on.
Mm,
I mean, things have been said in the past that we probably regret, but I didn't want to say things that were so unforgivable. You know, I talk, you know, you talk to people and we have conversations with different couples, and a lot of them have that same problem where a person says something to them that was so devastating till they cannot get past that one thing they said. And it's 10 years later, they still hold on to that one thing.
oh, very good. Now that's good because a lot of people that come into my office, that is their main thing. And I'm always saying, is there any way that we can get past this? And it's usually something that the men are holding on to. And what I found is that sometimes the women don't know how to accept that they've even hurt the man. I said something to him many years ago. I remember when I said it, I remember when it came out of my mouth, and I remember saying to myself, oh shit, like what did I do? It took me years to kind of rebuild that trust and regain um, our relationship to the point where he started to trust me again with even sharing certain things with me. And it was really, really hard. And and I constantly, you know, like sometimes people say, well, you should just forgive me. No, if you've hurt somebody to the point where you know you've really just kind of broke them, you have to really kind of rebuild that back up together. Maybe put some gold in it, you know, or something to rebuild that because it's hard. I, for me, I saw, especially when I did what I did to you, and I know people want to know, and I'm not going to say it, but when I did what I did to you, it broke you in a way that was, it was almost irreversible. But because we've been through so much, we really grew and grew stronger together that now I know what to say and what not to say. So I'm very careful of my mouth and my thoughts towards
You
him.
know, we have a big issue in many different ways as people of disorderly communication. I'll put it that way.
What do you mean by disorderly communication?
Because we say things and we end up having missing trust of communication where I don't trust you with my information no more. People end up doing things to themselves or going through things by themselves, mentally, physically, and spiritually, because they're scared to communicate because of the
Backlash.
backlash from the
Yeah.
person that they should trust with the information. And sometimes people need to see you shut up, be quiet, and listen.
Hmm.
I say sometimes if I see people going through things, I say if you need a deaf ear, I'm here.
Hmm.
Because sometimes we want to be able to verbalize and speak without being criticized. But we too busy want to try to fix somebody
Hmm.
instead of communicating with somebody by giving them a deaf ear.
Yeah. Uh, so I understand. Like for women, I know that we can just talk. I have my best friends. I have three of them. I have one guy, and you know the two
Yeah.
girls that I talk to, and I talk to them all the time. And it is it's really really true because even with them, they don't want to say something to me, and then they hear it back again in a negative way or in a critical way. So we have to be careful with criticism and what that actually looks like. So I'm gonna share because I'm gonna show you what that looks like. So one of the things is that when you have friends, and you have to realize that you're not their God. You're nobody's God. And we learn in therapy when we're doing therapy with people that we are careful to not have biases. We have biases. Everybody has a bias. But when a person is entering into your office, all those biases are out the door. You're not there to judge that person, no matter what they come in with. That's the same with your friends. You can advise, but it's not up to you to try and tell people what to do with their lives. And that's the same in a relationship. There's some things that you are able to deal with and say, you know what, we can work through this and try and fix this because maybe I don't like it, and we can work through it. But it is not up to you to continue to criticize everything that they do. I'm going to give it, this is the example. Miles Monroe had a perfect example, and you guys can go and look this up. And this is about cultivating your spouse. So let's say if I didn't like his weight or he didn't like mine, instead of criticizing and saying, "Oh, you kind of you gaining some weight there, you kind of fat, you kind of doing this, you kind of doing that," instead of saying that, because that's criticism, that hurts a person. You never know what they're going through, even though you're married to them. You never know what they're going through mentally with even looking at themselves. So it's a way that you can do that. Hey, babe, you can start cooking differently. You can, start, going out, working out together and say, hey, babe, let's go to the gym. So Miles Monroe said, you are only, and you guys got to go look at it yourself. And this is how I received it. You get what you put in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put in your relationship horrible things, you're going to get horrible things back. But if you cultivate what you want to see, if you say, oh, you know what, I want to go ahead and work out with you. I want you to be healthy. I want you to live a long life with me. I want you to be able to do these things. So I'm going to work out with you. We're going to do this together. Instead of saying, oh, girl, you get kind of thick there. That's rude. That's rude. That's nasty. You never know what that person is going through.
Yeah, and sometimes when that get done to a person, what happens is they shut down, and that is so dangerous. I'm the type of person, my wife does tell you, once you destroy the trust we have, I shut down. I just don't communicate, and I retreat to myself until I can figure out how I can communicate to you on what's taking place, because I'm not going to sit here and continue on communicate with a person that not really having effective communication with me. We don't have effective communication while we're talking.
Yeah, and that's the same for friendships and family members and things like that as
Even
well.
at work.
Yeah, you got to learn how to communicate with people. Period. I write these things on the board when I have my married couples come in, and it's communication styles can ruin a relationship. So the communication styles that can ruin a relationship is the criticism, contempt. I'm sorry, defensiveness, and stonewalling. And if we don't learn how to do these things properly, you could be people that are married just living in a home.
Yeah.
You're just married, just living in a home. A piece of paper, it really doesn't mean anything. For me, the piece of paper is if something happens, then I can, make these particular adjustments to our life. But the piece of paper means nothing. One day he didn't have his ring on, and I was like, where's your ring? He was like, I know I'm married. Do you know you're married? And I'm like, well, yeah. Do you really need those rings? It's good to have them to signify, hey, this is, I am married, I am, in a committed relationship, and they have so many different things that signify the ring. But you have to know within yourself that you are married.
Yeah. And that is so important. Why in the world I see people wear rings all the time, and truth to be honest with you, they're single.
What you talking about?
People wear the rings all the time. Yeah, they married, by paper, but they're single.
Well, you got to give me an example. This is cute.
Okay, a young man been married about 5, 6 years.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Got a wedding ring. He's smiling. He always giggling. But every time you turn around, he's in a young lady face.
Mm-hmm.
You have a conversation with the young man. Oh yeah, I smashed that.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, ain't you married? Yeah, but you know, a man needs someone on the side once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So that's single.
Yeah.
You're living a bachelor life, and to me, a bachelor life is hard because you always got to be out there like a lion hunting for food. I ain't got time to be hunting for food. I want to go home to my wife. I know I could communicate with my wife. I have a relationship with my wife. I have everything I need is home. I don't got to sit there and look because I'm lonely.
Yeah.
And people are married and still lonely because they don't know that they are married within their heart. Because technically, they didn't marry that person. They only married the paper.
Wow. You know, you deal with a lot of that at your job. The stories
Oh yes. The story
that you hear, and I don't even work there, and he doesn't tell me half the things that are going on. The thing is that I hear it from the outside of other people. Like if you have a government job, the people that are sleeping with other people within the companies, it's very ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you hear the stories of how people have lost their jobs and all sorts of things due to just infidelity. You know, you have to know that you want to be married. And if it doesn't work, let that person go. Sometimes people, you know, they want their cake and they want to eat it too, just to say, oh, I was able to do this. And the thing is when you hurt the person and then they finally divorce you or leave you, and this is for the men and for women too. When the person leaves or divorces you, you want them back because you realize, oh crap, I'm the actual problem.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a tough place to be in. But before we move forward, I want you guys to continue to comment, like, and share. I see your comments are coming in. Make sure that if you have something that you want to share, if you want to make a statement, if you want to comment, whatever it is, if you have a question, you can do those things here and we'll light it up and we'll try to answer it the best of our ability. Or someone in the chat will be able to answer it as well because we have some amazing people that are always watching. So thank you to our viewers. Good.
So, you know, and carry on what we were saying, we get to the mindset where I love her, but I don't think she knows she loves me.
Mm-hmm.
We don't communicate our emotions.
So what is love though?
I think a love is an action.
So they always say that, but describe like what is the action?
Okay, for me, they can say, "Well, I pay the bills." You're supposed to pay the bills. If you don't pay the bill, where you gonna live? So you know, saying that I pay the bills, I'm showing my love. No, like for me, I come home sometime, I see the wife sitting down on the couch, and she look tired, going there, cook a nice little dinner, nice little.
You don't do it just one time. You do it all the time.
Let me finish.
Oh, because I love to eat. Boy.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
No, not all the time. I'm talking about when I decorate the plate.
No, I said you do that all the time. That I like
let
that.
Me finish. Let me finish.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Cut me off.
Okay.
See, that's no communication.
Boy, go ahead.
But you know, but we decorate the plate and I make her feel happy, or I may be on the way home from work. At one time, I remember I went by the Whole Foods store to buy her vitamins. So I thought, well, let me get her something that I know she probably would like. So I went to the store. I said, well, what would she like? I saw this beautiful arrangement. I said, oh, there you go. So I picked up the arrangement. On the way home, she's just sitting there waiting for a little iron liquid. So I brought it home. I gave it to her. I said, look what I got you. Open the bag, gave it to her. Her smile was so happy. Her heart smile. You know, it's like, you know, I'm not just loving her. I'm showing her that I love her by doing certain things. Even when she's mad, I try my best to, you know, even have a little, like she was mad at me the other day. Oh, she was mad. She come at work and she was fussing. I'm on the phone like this, like, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm at work. People in my face, and I ain't let nobody know that me and my wife is arguing right now. So let her argue. I'm gonna shut up. So I got out. I said, well, what can I do? I said, let me go to the what's that restaurant you like?
It was
Jay
Crafty
Jay
Crab.
Alexander. I almost went to Jay Alexander to get her a steak. I said, nah, that is too expensive. That's a $50 steak. That's outrageous. I said, let me get something better than that. I said, we go to Crafty Crab and get her some crab that she had around. I came in the house, she's sitting there, she in the kitchen. Oh, what this supposed to be? I said, it's my apology. I can't taste none anyway. But let's sit that on the counter.
I don't care. I was mad, but my anger was justified.
It was justifiable
in the sense of something I had been asking him to do for 2 months, and after me
1 month.
2 months, we exaggerate, ladies. It was 2 months, and because I had to do it myself, I was pissed, and then I had to enlist the children in helping me to do it. So he comes home with this bag of crabs, and I'm just like, I love crabs. I love crabs, and I like steak. And so he comes home with this bag, and I'm just like, so for him, that's like his love language, to kind of give gifts and things like that. And I have to understand that that's him apologizing. I could have continued being angry and continued fighting, but what would have been the point?
Yep.
What would have been the point? I did that a long time ago. I remember he used to take the pillows from off the couch, and he would put them on the floor when the kids would go to sleep. And he used to put strawberries and whipped cream and all sorts of, like, an array. It was like a charcuterie tray, but with just a bunch of fruit. He would just do this stuff for me. And one day he was doing his apology thing. This was years ago. And I got mad. I think I threw it at him.
She went in the dinner, so I said, what is her? I ain't got time for this. And went to bed. I said, all right, no problem.
He never did it again.
So I pulled the smoothie down the sink and put the fruits in the refrigerator and put the pillows up. And she was mad that she took, like, about months later, about years later, oh, why don't you make that smoothie again? I said, that won't happen again.
That won't happen again. He stopped making it, and I was so upset. I was like, well, you got to be careful. You got to be careful how because that's like a trauma for him. Like, why would I do that again? I'm scared that you're going to just say no and just reject me again. So, but I've learned how to, and there's sometimes where when it's something that is just too much, I can say, listen, this is not a good time right now. Like, don't try to do that. Like, we need to talk about this. And we talk about it. It may be for 2 days. It may be for 3 days. But we talk about it. We get it out of our system. And we'll take a drive or something and do something with the kids. And then until it's all the way out of our system. And we just forgive each other. We come together like the Bible tells us to do. Have sex or whatever, because the enemy tries to attack you immediately. And it just,
the Bible did say
become
that husband and wife should come together. That's coming together.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, I'm just agreeing with you. I'm really agreeing with you.
Get your arms.
The real thing is we had to mature. And in a relationship, when you first get married, I believe you are immature in some way, form, or fashion. And within the relationship, you begin to mature for each other.
I like that.
But sometimes we forget to mature and end up being selfish. I told my wife years ago before I got married. I said, baby, why are you thinking like a single woman? Do you know you're married? I know I'm married. But you think like a single woman. And that's why she got it one day. I'm like, because you're thinking about every time we have our argument is I, but you forgot about we.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what happened is when a person starts saying I so much, it's like they're looking for an exit.
Yeah. But at that time, I was looking for
an exit.
No,
I was not giving you an exit. The exit door was closed.
Yeah, I was sick of you.
I was not sick of you.
I was looking for, I didn't understand how to be married. Like, I wasn't taught. I was always shown how a woman is strong and usurps a husband. And I was like, I don't
And
I don't
that's
want to be, I didn't want to be like that. I had come from that already.
mhm.
And I didn't want to continue being a man in our relationship. I was like, I
But
don't want to do
the,
that.
the problem with that was she was too busy trying to teach me how to be the husband.
Hmm.
And I asked her, and I had to make a statement with her one day. I said, "How can you teach me something that you didn't have?
Hmm.
So if you don't know what it is, allow me to be that instead of trying to teach me something."
Right.
But sadly, today time, a lot of the young men don't have that technique in their heart
Hmm.
on how to be a husband, how to be a father, and even how to be a man because they don't have that example before them. So they cause the communication in the home to be really messed up because they really don't know how to communicate with their wife, thinking like the head of the household, even thinking as one of the household. They still acting like a immature kid sometimes.
I think that when you get married, and I tell younger couples this all the time, when you get married, especially for a woman, and if they're constantly complaining about their significant other before they even get married, I always tell them there are different levels to this thing. Sometimes people want to get married because the wedding looks beautiful.
Yeah.
But after the wedding, what are you going to do in the marriage? I am kind of glad that the day of our wedding day that it was stopped because it forced us to go into the actual marriage itself. We started off rough.
Mm-hmm.
We started off with the fight from the very beginning, from the time that he said that he liked me. It was a mess. And the thing is, it forced us to learn each other. I had to learn how to be a mother. My mother wasn't there for me. I had to learn how to do this. I had to learn how to be a woman, how to do certain things and how to be able to please my husband. It took a while, although I liked him and I loved him, it was very uncomfortable for me because I had been with women for so long. Now I am here 2 years in the beginning in a relationship with this man, and I didn't know, really what to do. So it was really it was strange for me.
Mm-hmm.
But because I wanted to be with him, I went and I sought help. I asked different women that were around me for help. My best friend, she was married for 25 years. And throughout her marriage, like she met me when I was like 18 or 19. I didn't know that from watching her, like the different things that I would learn. And I always tell young people that each level you go in your marriage, there's a different devil that's there that's trying to destroy you. But you got to know how to communicate properly. Because if you take all that old stuff, all that old trauma, and try to place it on this man, you keep pushing them in the corner because some men are quiet. They're very reserved and they're willing to work through whatever. But you push them in the corner, they're going to come out fighting.
Yeah, yeah. I remember stories from my aunties when I was growing up, and we used to laugh about it. They said how they used to jump on their husband and beat them up all the time. And one day, each one of them had the same exact story, and it's hilarious. They put their man in the corner, called they're gonna jump on the man's head, and all of a sudden, the man came out like a damn dog. They're like, "Oh, wait, okay, I'll sit right here." And what you say, you want a steak? I cook the steak because they realized that because he's quiet, he's not quiet because he's scared of you.
Mm-hmm.
He's quiet because he respects you, he loves you, he don't want to hurt you.
Yeah.
But a lot of women do not understand that. They think, "Oh, I got him scared." No, it's not. He's scared. He loves you that much that he don't want to hurt you.
Yeah.
That is true love. We love somebody that much that they can even throw a frying pan at your head. Don't you throw a frying pan?
Why would I do that?
I don't know.
That's crazy. You gotta go to work.
I know. I do. Throw a frying pan at a person and they're like, "Hold up, baby. I love you."
I did throw a lamp at you.
No, you did. You try to hit me with a lamp. That was literally almost.
That was 15 years ago.
It was like we were going through some crazy things. I thank God for it, because they help us to mature even to now. I say that, like I said before, if we have an argument, arguments is kind of funny. It's like, yeah, okay, no problem. You know, so we're gonna talk about this later. Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later.
You know,
Do you want something to eat?
you know,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm hungry. No, then we sit down, we have a conversation, and we literally have a heartfelt where we actually hearing each other and not waiting to respond to each other.
I think because our arguments now are not, they're not like frivolous. Like there are people that have real, things going on. And not that we don't have real things going on, but
Because I'm real.
Yeah, you're real. But I think once we learn how to navigate and push people out
Yeah.
of our marriage and really start to work on us, like I have a lot of things, going on, a lot of trauma and things like that would come up, like a lot of things that, he would do that would trigger me. And I didn't know how to deal with it. But once I learned, I think now I don't want to argue with him. There is literally nothing to argue about. He's not cheating on me. He goes to work faithfully and makes sure that the bills are paid. Like we're not, sitting around here, homeless, and he's not making like dumb mistakes. And even if he does something silly, to me, in my mind, I'm just like, it is what it is. Do you need me to help you with something? Where can I, make up the cost? Because I'm his wife. And I think that I'm glad that we went through it, because usually this is the stage where people go through a lot of different things
And they give up.
And we went through it in the beginning for a full almost 6 years. And now we're at the stage where it's like, we've been there, done that. Nothing but death can really just, I believe, break us up. There's nobody that can come whispering in my ear about my husband.
Right.
And people will tell you, there are women that will tell you that nobody can just whisper things in his ear, because I've seen him shut even his whole family down as it pertained to me. So I'm just like, if he were to go out and cheat and do crazy things, I would be like, well, why? After all these years, why now?
I'd be retarded.
That would be real stupid, because I would be like, take the kids with you, because you wanted the kids. Take the kids with you, and I'll be the weekend
mom.
Funny
is when you're going like when years ago she started accusing me for cheating. I said, sweetheart, if I would have cheated, I would have cheated. We was going through all that hell. Why would I cheat now? And everything is beautiful. We are beginning to develop something new. That's crazy. And my main thing is, when I saw what it did to my mom, when my dad was out there doing what he was doing, and it hurt my mom so bad, why would I repeat the same cycle that my father did?
Right.
And I see people do that all the time. My dad did this, my dad did this, but they never look at the bigger picture. They look at what their father did, but they not see what the effect that the father have done to the family. How that the father broken up the family because he didn't stand up to himself to be the man of the house. He didn't stand up to himself. He didn't stand up to himself to communicate with his wife. Baby, I feel alone. Baby, I feel like you don't love me. Baby, we ain't had intimacy in a long time. What's going on? It's something I did that we're not, coming together no more. Baby, you haven't cooked my food in a while. What's going on? You haven't ironed my clothes. No communication. So they grow. The house going to a point where it's beginning to separate itself. It's like the foundation of the home is cracked, and the house beginning to split into two, because why? The two head of the household are broken. And until we come back together and put the head of the household back together, the house remains broken, and it could easily turn into a divorce. But we didn't do that because I refused to let that crack to get any bigger than what it was. And until we learn how to keep people out of our home, and that don't mean that the physical body's in your home. What I mean by in your home, if you're arguing about somebody that don't live in your house, it's kind of,
but back then for me, it was terrible, because the people that we were arguing about would throw the rock and hide their hand. And they were constantly doing things, because it was just really stupid. But I wasn't mature enough then. I was in my early 20s. I didn't know nothing about being with no man. I knew how to handle women, but I didn't know how to handle this man with his family and all this other bull crap. My family was absolutely, and you can still attest to this, they never involved themselves like that. They never inserted themselves. And I couldn't fathom what was so bad and what was so wrong with me. Your children were never nasty. You know, I kept the house stayed clean. I don't, anybody who's ever been to my house, I don't like a nasty house. And it wasn't like you were downgrading. You know, I'm going to use Beyonce's word. I upgraded you in the sense of you got a better job. You were making very good money and still make good money. You know, we were starting a business, still started the business, and we're on to a second business that we're starting. You know, our children are very well taken care of. Nobody has ever had to watch our kids. So when people from the outside were trying to insert themselves, and I think in my mind, I felt that they had some type of control over you because you cannot come against family, especially if they've been if you've been with that family for so many years. I've only had you for just a few years. I'm thinking that you're going to leave. So I was terrified. So in that moment, and this is why you have to be sure of yourself and know who you are, because I didn't know who I was. I was broken, I was beaten, I was bust down. I didn't have a mom or a father. It was just me. So I'm like, having all that rejection come at me at once, it was too much. So I tried to reject him, and then he still wouldn't leave. I'm like, there's no way that I'm going to live in this hell with you. And you got your outside people trying to insert themselves into our lives. It was rough for me mentally. I felt like I was in a twilight zone.
Well, again, and I can say I understand many different ways, and
Speak
even
up because they said they can't hear you.
oh, and I would also say I understand them in different ways, but then I also would tell her, do they stay in this house? Keep them out of our home. Let's
Mhm.
figure how to work this out on our own without have to keep on involving people that have no say so over us anyway.
Yeah.
We too busy trying to keep family, not realizing you're starting your own family.
But see, that's the thing. Um, you don't really know that.
No, we
Like,
don't know
no, no, no.
that.
I'm just saying, like, I didn't in that moment. I didn't
Oh
understand
no,
that.
I understand that, but
Now I
that
get it because I really could care less.
now, but
Yeah.
it was my place as being the man, the husband, your protector, was to try my best to ensure you that I wasn't going nowhere. Oh, she did some stuff that and most men be like, I'm out, peace out, I'm gone, and I still come home, I sit on the couch, come
I
home,
was a
cook
piece of
dinner.
work. I was a
You
piece of
know,
work.
she got to a point where she was like, no, I tell her, I say, you got crutches on? Why you say that? Because you ain't walking. But she did this because she said I was mad at you. And I'm like, well, you mad, but I'm not mad. So
Mhm.
why should we both be in the house, both of us mad, and no and this is like what happened if both of us mad? Who's the idiot? I'm the
Mhm.
idiot because I don't have to entertain your madness. All I could do is help you through your madness by being kind. The Bible did say, love and kind have I drawn thee. Even work in your own home. If I don't show love and kindness to my own wife, even when she run a rampage, I'm the bad person. Because why? Do all that, it's my job to still show love. Still show my responsibility of head of the household. That hey, I'm here to protect you, not just sit here and be a dummy and say, well, yeah, she go through that. I ain't going through that. I'm just okay. Now we're being stupid.
Mhm.
We're being selfish, and now the communication has been broken because then we come to the beginning. Now, if you don't have no communication, there's no relationship.
Mhm. Yeah. So there's so much that we can go through even with that and how to break that apart. But what I've learned with you is that you say what you're going to say, and sometimes because he's such a kind-hearted person and he's so loving and so giving, people tend to they took your kindness for a weakness. And I even noticed it like with the children, with our own kids. They take his kindness for weakness sometimes until the thunder begins to roar. And what I mean by that is when he, starts to just completely use that full daddy voice. That's when everybody wants to scatter, and he has to use it. I've seen him use it even with family members and things like that, because when people are used to controlling others, and when you start to set a boundary and you start telling people no, they don't like that no, and then they act up even more.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't like that no. Children do that. Outside people do that. When you tell them no, that they are not allowed to hurt you anymore, they tend to lose their mind. Like, what do you mean I can't come in and say what I want to say? What do you mean I can't come in and hurt you like I've been hurting you because I'm hurting? When you start to take control of your life and your eyes begin to open, what happens is that people are upset when you do that. That happens even in your own relationship. When you start to set boundaries and don't allow people to control you anymore, they end up either doing one of two things. I ended up having to go to therapy. I had to do therapy. I had to get myself together. And if I hadn't gotten myself together, at some point, he would have said, I can't do this anymore. I was a piece of work. I would not let go of certain things that I knew I needed to let go, but I was holding on to it because I was so angry.
Yeah.
But I had to let it go. And that is where criticism comes in at, because I was not only wagging the finger, I was spewing hatred out of my mouth towards him. It was horrible. The one reason why I really stopped is that my daughter, my middle child, and I think it was the last time I actually argued with you. She must have been like 5 or 6. Well, we've had our last big blow up, and she is in love with her daddy. She's 13. She'll be 13, and she is absolutely smitten with him. And you can't, if you're over here and you talk about her daddy, you get checked. Like, you can't talk about her daddy. And I remember her at 6 years old, and she still comes and she's really smart. And she came up to me and we were arguing. I was so angry. And she said, Mommy, can I talk to you? And I got down and I was like, what? I was like, everything's going to be okay. Just go to your room. And she was like, don't make my daddy leave. She was like, Mommy, calm down. She was doing my face. She said, Mommy, calm down. Mommy, calm down. Mommy, calm down. Please, don't make my daddy leave. And she said, if my daddy leave, I'm leaving with my daddy. I said, you're going to leave me? She said, yep.
I think that's the day that I went to chiropractor. It's hilarious. We had a big old argument because how we went, and I said, I'm out. I got in my car. I ain't telling nothing. I pulled off. I turned my phone completely off because I didn't want to be bothered with the chiropractor. I'm on the table, get myself done. And it just said, I know where daddy at.
The kids, they always know. They knew where he was because he's so predictable. He's always doing the same things. And so they looked at the time. They could tell time really well. And they were saying, I know where my daddy's at. And I was like, well, let's go find him. So we went driving. I went to the chiropractor, and it was like Tina Turner. And you remember the ex-wife who came and said, I heard you playing Family Man. I opened up that door and said, get out and go in there with your daddy.
I look up, all three of them sitting there talking, hi, Daddy.
And the chiropractor, he's a family chiropractor, and he knows the kids and stuff, and he just let them in there with him. Your kids are here. So we have a lot of little stories like that. It's funny now, but in that moment, it was not funny at all. So we have 5 minutes. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns? You can place them here. I was told that you guys are not able to hear him. So if you're really not, because he does speak low sometimes, and then he projects depending on what's being said. But I'm always loud. Like, I just talk loud. Um, but make sure that you like, comment, and share. Also, like I said, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we're also on YouTube. So you can find us in those 3 to 4. Did I say 4 places? So make sure that you like, comment, and share. If you have any comments right now, go ahead and post them, and we can go ahead and discuss it. So the other 3 things that we were, oh no, that's nothing. Oh, okay, and we can talk about the other things. So Lionel Nelson, he was talking about our shirts. Again, these shirts, Latoya DeJustice, she made these shirts for us, and they're really, really cute. Like, we came on here like twinsies today. It says "Let's Talk Marriage." Like, they're really cute. I love them, and I'm so thankful that she made them for us. So thank you for recognizing it and noticing our shirts. So Minister Lionel also says great words of wisdom. So thank you, baby, for sharing your words of wisdom. And the other comments, they'll start coming in because I know that there's a little delay sometimes. So we have 3 more, and the name of the doctor that does this, that actually does the whole marital sessions and the classes on this that we have to learn from. His name is John Gottman, and it's called The 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Like, you guys can look this up on your own on YouTube, and you'll see it yourself. But the second one is contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. So contempt is your intent to insult somebody, like name calling, eye rolling, or mental abuse. Mental abuse, we talked about that on the other day when we talked about narcissism and how mental abuse comes about. The other one is defensiveness, and it's sometimes people can escalate conflict. I think I did all of these, escalating conflict rather than to resolve it. Like, that there's a resolution. He was always willing to resolve it, and I was always willing to light it up. I was like, if it's gasoline on it, I'm going to take the match and boop, do my little Angela Bassett and light it up. I was always trying to start the fire where he was trying to let it out with some water. Um, he always wanted to just de-escalate the situation. And because I didn't know how to communicate, I wanted to argue because I thought I would get a resolution, and I wasn't.
Because I think the biggest thing is, I always tell her, if you yelling, I'm yelling, who is listening? If we both angry and just shouting at each other, nobody listening. The communication is broken. So what I should do is I allow her to have her anger fest. It'd be like a feast for her. She just go on the rap hand. The kid look at her. I say, Donald, leave mama alone. Let her have it. Then when I'm mad, she go, I'll leave that alone. I'll let him go out there. Let him alone. Let him go to the room, go to sleep. And the thing is, what happens is sometimes we just need to let it out. And once we let it out, then we come back to each other and talk about it. Sometimes, when a person are hurt or going through certain things in their life, they need an outlet. If you can't get it out, you harvest it and it damages the body. It damages the heart, the mental state, it damages everything, the relationship. And I had that problem. I ain't gonna lie, I had that real bad. I didn't communicate at all. I just kept it to myself, housed it in, and I blew up later on like a volcano. And it was unfair to my wife. Because she's like, why you didn't tell me this when this happened 6 months ago? You just bring this up now. It's over. I don't want to hear it. And she's right. She didn't have to hear that, because why? I should have brought it up then. And that's my fault because I didn't communicate. So I'm learning now how to, when something come down to it, I try to communicate. I try to be better at it.
Yeah, and every relationship, like, you learn your mate a little later. And I'm learning, like, with him, I would always ask him, well, why are you not talking? Why are you not talking? I'm talking to you and you're just ignoring me. It wasn't that he was ignoring me. It was that he was processing what I was saying. And I had to learn how to argue fair with him. because he doesn't process things the way that I process them. And so when I'm talking to him, if I'm calm, then he'll give me a response. But if I'm just angry, he's not computing that at all.
I just stopped listening.
And it's hard for me because when I'm mad, I want to yell. But now I'm learning how to just, if I want something from him, there's no way. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
I can't yell. My silence, I've learned when he knows that I'm really angry, sometimes I'm just quiet. I'll say exactly what I'm angry about. And just like, 2 days ago, I got crab legs because I was very vocal, but in a good way about why I was angry.
Yeah.
And it was valid. And then he was able to adjust. Now, what else could he have said? Nothing really. I said my piece. I did what I needed to do, and he adjusted. The crab legs was just a bonus,
Yeah.
but he adjusted, and that's what I want. I just want you to adjust because, like, it doesn't make any sense for us to keep arguing back and forth. Sometimes people want to see a change, or at least you try. For me, at least let me see you try
Effort.
to make an adjustment. And if you can't, for me now, I can see that, you know what, it's not that he can't, it's just that right now that's not his focus. And I don't judge him anymore with that. I just do it because we've been together for so long. At this point, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
But my point gets across, and he tries to make an adjustment, and that's good enough for me. It may not be good enough for you guys, but it's good enough for me.
Because sometimes she be arguing and she be making a statement and want me to respond to a statement. A statement is not meant for me to respond.
Speak up a little more.
My statement is not meant for me to respond. My statement, when she making a statement like that, I just learned how to adjust to the solution to her statement.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm just verbalizing and not making action, that's a problem.
Right.
So now I'm learning how let me just listen. And sometimes I can actually tell her when she's mad, hey, baby, okay, what you mad about is X, Y, and Z. Okay, I understand. She get quiet and get mad. Okay, yeah, I am mad about that. But
and you've been really good with figuring that out. I think that you've learned me to the point, and I've been quiet enough where you've figured me out a little bit. Because he's been able to, just in the last couple of months, to say, well, this is what you're really angry about, and you really need to, think about that. And because he's able to see me in that way, it makes me very vulnerable. And now I know that I've truly let down all my walls, and you see me.
Yeah, I see.
And that makes me feel happy that that you see me enough to say exactly what it is, and not even in a nasty way, but to say exactly what it is, and then I can adjust.
Yeah.
To say, okay, you're right, and I really need to go and think about this. I might cry because I've been a crybaby now for these last couple of months because it's been so much going on. But he's right, and I'm just like, so what do we do? What can we do to fix it? Because the ultimate goal is how can we change it?
Yeah.
What can we do? Because I don't want to live. We only have one life, and I don't want to live it miserable, sad, and angry, and just bitter. Like, I don't want to do that.
People live in a marriage that is problems with no solution.
Mm-hmm.
When their problem pop up, you have to have a solution. You have to have an answer. And it's far time for us to stop creating more problems in our marriage and start coming up with a solution to our marriage that can better who we are. Because honestly, I should better my wife should better myself. If we're not bettering each other, upgrading each other, why are we married?
Right.
When you get married to somebody, they should enhance who you already is.
Who you already are.
Or going to be.
Yeah, very
Because when we first got married, like I told people, I'm not ashamed. I didn't realize who I really am, my identity, until I was about 36 years old. That's actually when my son was born. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm a father. I'm a husband. I got to do I got to make some changes.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, I didn't really understand my position until I got myself in a position to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And now our relationship and who we are and what we are doing is flourishing a lot because we are taking the time to learn each other and how to love each other and how to communicate with each
Yeah.
other instead of sitting here being mad and going to bed with an argument.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while you may have that little, but honestly, it's not that much.
No, it's not like it used to be, and I'm very very happy about that. So let's the next one is defensiveness. I wanted to get to that because we talked about contempt, and that's insulting, name calling, eye rolling. That's the easy one. But defensiveness, and we only have a little bit of time, so we'll keep going for just a second.
Yeah.
But defensiveness is escalated conflict rather than to resolve it. So we were talking about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the defensive partner isn't taking responsibility and is making excuses.
Yeah.
So you're making excuses rather than taking responsibility. You blame the partner, which obstructs communication and it won't allow healthy conflict management. So what happens is like what he was just saying. You throw all these things out, but you're not taking responsibility for your part to say, you know what, I am doing this because sometimes we need to hear that. I did do that. I know that for him, like he needs to hear me take responsibility. And I've been doing that so much more over the years by saying, you know what, I have been a piece of crap, but let me show you how I can fix it. Can you help me to work on that? Like I ask him often, pray for me. I need you to pray for me. I was going through something the other day with a family member who OD'd. And I needed, like, I didn't even ask him. He just grabbed me because I was crying so hard. And he just started to pray for me. And I'm just like, my son was there watching. And he was like, what are you doing to my mama? He was like, the same thing that you're going to do to your wife when you get married. And my son sat quiet and he put his hands together. And he said, Mommy, you need this prayer. And it was I just needed that in that moment. Sometimes we just need a little help. And we have to say we need help. Oftentimes our partners don't know what to do.
We expect each other to know something that we do not verbalize. When we are working on a project or doing certain things, or say for instance, I say, well, this week I'm gonna go ahead and go to work and do what I gotta do. And she going through something and I'm not paying attention. It's not because I don't care. The fact is my focus on trying to execute what we need to do for the home. So if she don't let me know what's going on and she get mad at me, is it my fault that she didn't communicate with me?
Yeah.
Because honestly, when you're focused on one thing, you are literally focusing on that thing until the task is completed. And when that task is complete, then you can regroup and say, okay, what did I miss or what did I neglect or however it goes? Because now it's my turn to, what have I missed, catch up on it. It's almost like looking at reruns. You try to catch up on your show until you get up to get caught to the next episode. Yeah. So we have to begin to communicate to the fact is, hey, sweetheart, I know you about to go to work, but let me take what's going on. Because if I don't take what's going on, I'm gonna feel some kind of way because you're not really responding to me like you need me to respond to you. But at the same time, it's still my responsibility to pay attention to her body, on how she feel. Sometimes I would stop saying, "Baby, are you all right?" I'm okay, and I do the same thing to her. But then it's our fault because we don't communicate. Communication is so important.
Yeah, and it is good to watch your partner and watch their habits and their behaviors, because if you're watching, I think that's a sign of love as well. To know when the person is hurting and when you can see something just isn't right, and being patient to wait for them to be able to give you a response or to be able to communicate what's actually happening, because sometimes they don't know how to communicate that. And like he talked about in the very beginning of this video, having a deaf ear, being, quiet sometimes, because oftentimes they want to share things with you. I know for my husband, he wants to share things with me, but he doesn't want me to say anything. He just wants me to sit there and just listen. And if he wants to cry or anything, just sit there and listen and just be there in the moment and not say anything, other than you want some water or something, just, but not trying to fix it.
Yeah.
Because some things can't be fixed. They just want to just air it out, just
Release
air it,
it.
just release it.
Sometimes you hold on to something, it end up become rotten.
Mm-hmm.
When you eat some food and you don't, release the tox of it,
Yeah.
it becomes poison to the body.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing with our thoughts and with our the things that we take, information that we take in. If we don't take the garbage that we intake and get rid of it, it causes us to be rotten inside. People grow up being angry for no reason because they hold on to the garbage.
Mm. Yeah. Oh wow. There's a book that we had to read in school called The Law of the Garbage Truck. I still have that book. That book is absolutely amazing. You guys should read it if you have some time to read. It's called The Law of the Garbage Truck. It's an amazing read. I'm gonna finish this up and then we're gonna go ahead and sign off because it's 9:12 now. The last one is stonewalling. It's building a wall between them and their partner. Over time, stonewalling makes sense sense of all. Wait a minute, sense of all that has happened. Trying to be neutral, but not wanting things to be worse. So, okay, stonewalling, because I can't even read my own handwriting. Sometimes I write really fast. It's withholding information because you don't want to communicate. So you're withholding, or you are um, blocking your partner out. That causes confusion and frustration like never before. Stonewalling, men do this very, very well because sometimes they don't know how to communicate. There's some women that do it as well, but men do this great. They just shut all the way down completely and do not allow you in. Some do it out of just being narcissistic, and some do it because they don't know what else to do. They don't know how to communicate with you if you're not allowing them in.
Yeah.
Now, I have some antidotes to that. I have some antidotes to criticism. So we talked about criticism. We talked about defensiveness. We talked about stonewalling. And we also talked about, what was the contempt. So the antidote to criticism is to avoid you statements such as you didn't. It feels like an attack. Instead, you can use I statements. I'm going to give you an example now. So I remember, and I still do it from time to time, when I would say, you're thinking like this and you're thinking like that. I have absolutely no idea what he's thinking. Absolutely no idea. Because the problem is that I'm putting my thoughts on him of what I think he's thinking about me. So the way that you stop that, and this is where vulnerability comes in at. And you have to you got to learn how to do this. You have to let people in, and even if they still, let's say the person still may not want to be with you, you can still be yourself by setting those boundaries and saying what you feel. And if people don't know how to adjust, you make the adjustments on what you should and what you shouldn't do. So if we're having a conversation, I can't say you always talk about yourself. You are so selfish. That's going to be wrong. But what I can say is I'm feeling left out of our talk tonight, and I need to process my day. It's been very difficult. Can we please talk about my day? Can we please? And if the person loves you like they say they do, they'll stop and they'll help you to talk about your day.
True.
Use I statements, because once you start doing this, And doing this, that's criticism.
And shut
Nobody,
down.
if people will shut down because that's an attack. That's an attack on anybody, male or female.
Yeah.
As soon as you start coming and say, you, even with my children, if I do it to my kids and say, you are doing this, they don't want to hear that. They feel attacked. Rejection comes in. So we have to be very careful and say, I feel like, oh, this is what I'm feeling. And say those things. And then even with my children, I see that they'll adjust.
Yeah.
So that's an effective way of arguing. Contempt. The antidote is to bring or build a culture of appreciation. So contempt is, you forgot to load the dishwasher again. You're so lazy. And then I roll my eyes. No, that's not going to work. The antidote is, I understand that you've been real busy lately, but could you please load the dishwasher when I work late? I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Respect. Respecting. The Bible tells the wife to respect her husband and for the husband to love his wife.
Amen.
Y'all got to read your word. That's what the word says.
You sure do.
So you got to learn respect. And that's, I think respect is given all around. Respect your mate.
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to communicate effectively. I understand that you've been really busy, but could you help me out? I need your help. We just had that conversation, and that's why I got the crabs. I need your help. I can't do it alone. Can you help me? And he said, I understand, and I'm sorry, and I'm gonna try to do better.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been adjusting. So, and I can fully appreciate that. Defensiveness. The antidote is to take responsibility, even if only for the part that you played a part in, even just for your part. So the complaint could be, did you call Phil last night to let him know that we were not going to eat tonight? You promised this morning. That's a complaint. You're just complaining. To a man, it sounds like wah, 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 wah. Instead, you could say, oh gosh, I completely forgot. I knew I was going to be busy today. I should have asked you. Let me call him right now. That's taking responsibility for your part.
That's true.
Man, I should have called. Why would I place the blame on him and then make him do something that I should have done? That's not going to work. So I hope some of these things have helped. Do you have anything that you wanted to add, babe?
No, it's actually great. I actually enjoy it. You teach me a lot.
You like when I teach you. I know. Yeah. I know you like when I be teaching you. Well, I mean, we have more, but it's almost time to go.
The thing is, we're learning how to communicate through love.
How are we communicating through love?
The Bible said that, I'm supposed to love my wife.
You're communicating through love.
But how can I love my wife if I'm not communicating with her? So, I have to learn who she is or are, begin to talk to her, begin to communicate with her. Love language. Learn her love language.
Oh, what do you think my love language is?
Food.
That is. Oh my gosh. That is my love language for real. It is food. Oh yes.
Learning what ticks off and what don't ticks off. Learning how to calm her down. Maybe sometimes she better go straight to 10. I bring it all the way down. Learning how to.
I let you do that.
Yeah, you like it too. But learning how to love each other. Period.
Mm-hmm.
It's no such thing. I don't. I'm not. In the marriages, I will. I will love you. I will take care of you. I will be there. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, my father did a lot of I won't. And I learned from his I won't what to do to the family. Yes, I belong to his family, but he destroyed his family. I will not repeat the same cycle to my family. Mm-hmm. So everything I knew that my father did not do, I'm doing the opposite. Mm-hmm. I make sure the bills paid. I make sure I love my wife. I make sure I love my son and daughters. I make sure I do everything I'm supposed to do as a man of my home, and also how to communicate with my wife.
Mhm.
I actually like talking to her when she's not arguing with me. And sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, I actually like it too, because I'm like, okay, I'm not arguing, I'm gonna bust her bubble. She be mad, but then she laugh later on. Stop trying to make me laugh, and I'll probably be mad. But we love each other. We actually enjoy each other.
Yeah.
I can appreciate the little things that she do.
Yeah.
And that's stuff we enjoy.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
No, I agree. I'm agreeing with everything that you're saying. The time is winding down. We actually went
passed.
over.
Yes, we
It is 9:21. I guess since we didn't come on last week,
we making up.
We're making up for all of that. But do you guys have any last minute comments that you wanted to share before we signed off? And remember, again, you can go on to YouTube. You can revisit this on YouTube. It'll be here on Facebook as well. You can come here and revisit this. I need to really, I think I should do a class on this, on John Gottman. I actually put it in the chat. Is John, because somebody asked me, is that with one T or how to spell it? So I put it in the chat. So it's Gottman, and it is called oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh, the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Oh gosh, I don't know why I just forgot that. I think I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it is always a pleasure to come on here to speak with you guys. I'm definitely grateful that we have this platform, that we're able to do this and share some of our experiences. Our experiences are not the same as everybody else, and some people out there, they have other experiences as well, and your feelings and your concerns and things like that, they're valid.
Yes.
They're valid. Bring it to somebody that can help. If I can help you, if I can help you find a therapist, if you don't want to use me, if you would like to use me and have me teach you some different things, I can. We can do group counseling, whatever it is that you will need. I can actually provide that service. You can visit my website at www.mymyhealthymind.me, and you can check out my website there. You can also go to Let's Talk Marriage 1 at gmail.com if you would like to send us an email of a show that you may like to see, a topic that you would like for us to talk about, and we'll try our best to deliver and bring that content to you. So other than that, I think that it is time for us to sign off. If I didn't get to your comment, I'm sorry, but I appreciate you all, joining in and sharing your comments and your concerns. Other than that, we are going to sign out of here. Bye, guys. We love you guys with the love of the Lord. You guys make sure that you stay prayerful.
Yes.
Pray for us as we continue to pray for you, and we continue to pray for this segment because it is really, really tough. We have been under attack. I mean, I don't know how I got sick twice, but I don't have COVID. And, having my voice just gone, and I like to talk.
Yeah.
And him not being able to come on here, this is something that he likes to do, and I like doing it with him. And sometimes those obstacles, they come and they attack us in so many different ways. You don't know what we have to go through on the back end, and it hurts sometimes, So y'all pray for us. Please pray for us as we continue to pray for you. And I guess that's it.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Sign off. Love you.
Y'all
Let's talk marriage.
Y'all stay prayerful. God bless you.